Hi there and welcome to Bustthenet. Yes, this is a show I like to call Gamechanger. It's a chance for me to jump into one of your saves and give it a whirl. Yeah, we've been when I got this save from Paul Crawford, I was pretty happy to see it was in the Bundesliga and with a team called Union Berlin, a team I am considering of managing myself for my upcoming final save of FM20, which will be gonna be in the Bundesliga. Thanks to all of you guys who responded on Twitter. Thank you very much. We had like 404 votes, and it looks like Union, one of these German sides, is gonna take the trophy. And I don't know which one of them. The trophy, basically, I'm gonna give them the trophy. Thank you for taking the chance on me. Hopefully, I don't screw things up. Anyway, here with this game changer episode, this is gonna be an interesting episode. Why? This is the first time I've done an episode where I actually go into a game and I'm stumped, right? I really wanted to do something, but my mind was vacillating between A and B because of the nature of the players that you have, Paul. It's a very interesting team, very interesting players that you've signed. I'm not going to dwell too much on training and tactics and a lot of the other stuff, because I think most of that most of that stuff is pretty basic. I'm just going to cover a few things at the top before I go into your system. First up, you done pretty well. Managed to get them promoted through the tiers. You've been here for 2 seasons, and overall, pretty good. Financially, not too bad considering the situation that we find ourselves in with some of these clubs. But your financial position is certainly improved. You're working rigorously hard to keep a positive bank balance. As you can see, your income has slowly gone up, but more importantly, your profit, right, over the last few seasons has improved. There's still a lot of things that you can do in terms of where you can take the club naturally. You've also been improving all your facilities as you go, which is fantastic. In your under 18s, you've got plenty of very exciting talent to look forward to, right? So all these players are coming through the tiers. I mean, if it was me, I can't wait to play half of these players, right? If I was managing the save, so definitely your whatever you're doing at the youth level is working. So keep doing what you're doing, which is the reason why I don't want to go into it too much, right? Your overview and your calendar, your training. You've been using the default training schedules with some insertions here and there. That's small little adjustments, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with playing it this way, right? You're training for the main team as well. As when I'm looking at the calendar, you're just modifying it slightly, considering the matches you're coming up against. This is perhaps one of the best ways to play, to be honest with you guys. I like this. You create your own teamwork work rate modified, teamwork work rate. Do what you're doing and just enjoy yourself, right? In November, you've gone like teamwork work rate modified all the way. But you have to bear in mind that this is a pre-match, this defensive shadow play. Just understand what this training schedules do, right? So you got marking, tackling, anticipation, concentration, position, weak. And this is for the defensive side of the team, right? And then when you look at the next week, you got teamwork, work rate modified. I can't really go back, as far as training is concerned. This only criticism I have of the game is you can't go backwards to see what you've done. But I believe that you are on some, you're doing something correctly, right? So keep doing what you're doing. You're not overextending yourself. What I would definitely recommend is pay attention to this. Whenever you do a defensive side in a week, make sure the right players are playing in the defensive unit. When you want to do something more attacking, and if you think that some of your wingbacks can improve with certain attacking attributes that will be featured as part of the training sessions for the attacking team, then move the wingbacks over to the attacking unit if you expect them to be working on that attacking aspect of their play. That's my only recommendation. The squad, as far as the training was concerned, when I looked at the training, you got most of your players are fine. Look at that. You're doing quite well. You look at the training ratings for your team on average. This is brilliant, right? Everybody's doing really well. I mean, this is a really well managed save when it comes to training, and I got to put my hands up to you. You've done a very good job with training. It's even I would say it's better than mine because I don't get such high training ratings across the board. I mean, you've got in for the majority team, you got about 4 players that don't have high training ratings, but this shows that I think what I suspect is you do a very fair rotation policy, which is one of the ways of getting this. And you paid quite a lot of attention to you've done a fair bit of attention to detail, and I like that in a lot of the saves that I've seen in you. I've basically seen some nice development for some of your players. Like here, we've got some of the players. His composure has gone up as one of your strikers. So this is basically he's only been here for 6 months, right? But check out his determination. The determination can drop as a result of injury, but his composure has already shot up in 6 months. So 12 to 13, almost 14. So whatever you're doing, if you're targeting a certain group of attributes, go ahead, keep doing what you're doing. It's working, right? Now, what about scouting? I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but when I look at your scouting shortlist, it scares me. You've got quite a lot of players in your scouting shortlist, but when I'm looking at your I'm hoping that you have filters in place. You have some potential signings here, which I see, and you got unions. You have a plan in place. I'm not gonna mess with that plan, right? So your assignments, ongoing. You've got a couple of scouting some interesting tournaments here. Festival International. This is a tournament. I think this is a youth tournament, right? It's got the report. When I look at this, you're also very fine-tuned about your scouting assignments. Man, this is a good save when it comes to a very focused way of developing my players. A scouting strategy that you followed. I've recommended this many times. You have a very focused scouting plan, and I tell you, you're going to have a very sweet-looking shortlist, and I think you've done it, and I'm impressed. Okay, now let's take a look at the team as a whole, right? So why was I basically in asking myself all these questions about the team? We'll start with the obvious way I picked up this team, and I'm sick and tired of playing the 4-1-2-3. To be honest with you guys, I'm tired of playing it. I look for any excuse now not to play the system, right? Unless it's like the Cop Diaries where I'm literally on autopilot. Even with Steady Bridge, I'm itching to leave that system. And with Roma, I'm just leaving the system completely. I don't want to play a 4-1-2-3 with Roma. I just want to play something different. I don't care how we do in terms of results, but 2 striker systems have been something that I wanted to do, and I only did it very early in the save. I'm looking at your save and I'm going, this guy's save is built for the 2 striker system. First, we've got this player, Cosimo Marco de Graca. Look at his attributes at the age of 20. This guy is absolutely sensational. He's got fantastic jumping reach. He's got acceleration. As a target man with acceleration, that's like you got the best combination. Yes, most people think this guy is going to be great as a complete forward, but even as a target man, it gives you a chance to play those quick transitions because your players can look for the target man first. And if he wins the ball in the air, he's got a partner who's fast. Good night to the other team. And guess what? You have a partner who is fast in Sebastian Borrell. He's fast, he gets away, he's got agility, balance, and dribbling. So he's going to keep the ball with his excellent first touch. He's going to be a lot to handle and excellent off the ball, so he's always going to find players. The only problem with Borrell is he shoots from distance. Yeah, but if you're playing a counter-attacking game, he might just, get in the box to score. But if there's anything, my only main criticism about him is this shoots from distance with long shots of 10 and technique of 15, 50-50, right? Sometimes he's going to hit the mark, sometimes it's not, because his long shots is actually quite low. I will get him to unlearn this player trait because he can be a liability, especially if you're going for goals. Especially if it's a counter-attacking system. You don't want him to try it from outside the box if he's already beaten the player. You just want him to get inside the box and increase the odds that he's going to finish. So we've got this player who's pretty good. And then we've got another player here who can play wide. And this, when I looked at him, the first thought I had in my mind was, what a winger he's going to turn out to be. I explode down the right with this guy, nobody's going to stop me because his agility, balance, and dribbling just make him unstoppable on the flanks. And he knocks the ball past opponent and he can deliver the cross. Maybe it's not perfect, but still, it's still half decent. And then I saw this player, Dejan Joveljic. Not bad. Plenty of room to grow. Definitely a squad player. At least you have covered in front. So your youngsters coming through the tiers. Kiyoshi Inione attacking midfielder to the center, in the center. Okay, this is where I started going. How do we play a system? How do we handle this team? Because when I looked at attacking midfielders, I came across this guy, Sergio Gomez. Immediately my heart, I started to palpitate. Okay. I was like, this guy's got passing, vision, flair, dribbling, agility, balance. Holy shit. He curls the ball, likes to run the keeper, plays 1-2, likes to switch ball to other flank and places his shots. If he comes into the box, he's a goal machine. Right? Only thing he's missing is gets into opposition area. So I'm like thinking to myself, man, this is the perfect Mazala. I won't say the perfect Mazala, but he's a good Mazala. So, but problem is when you play him as a Mazala, he's got tackling of 8, right? His bravery is borderline 10, which means that it's not going to be a very solid system, especially the 4-1-2-3. In the game, the 4-1-2-3 needs you to be dominant, right? That's the problem. We're not talking about playing against humans. We're talking about playing against the AI. The AI is going to more or less choose the right roles and duties in the middle of the park, and it's always going to be a problem because your Mazala might have to come back and defend. That kind of limits your options, because one of the reasons why the 4-1-2-3 can be so strong is because you can release the 2 fullbacks. If you can't release the 2 fullbacks, it kind of negates the system in some respects, because you got to depend on the 3 just to create something. Mazala is to go forward. You leave it open. Okay, so when I look at Sergio Gomez, we have to play him. The dilemma was how to play him. Alright, so then we have this other player, Jesper Rabeck. Okay, this guy is a 50-50, right? So he's a winger on the left flank. Again, he's a winger. Looks or pass rather than attempting to score. So we know if you ask him to be an inside forward, it's not really he's just gonna take on players and then lay off the pass. Okay, it might work, it might not work. We can teach him the cut inside trade, make him play on the right, ask him to be a cut inside. He will probably do a Facundo Gaetan, dribble past players and then look for somebody. Can work, it could work, but it means I have to train a player trait and wait for it to come, and then we can see the full effects after a couple of months. 6 months is too long. Alright, so we looked at their players, we looked at some of your players, like this guy he's Torben Gronsven. This is when I started noticing things about your team. First, we had that player who can play as a midfielder. So we got Sergio Gomez, we got that player who can play in the midfield. Then we got lone players like Ducore who can play in the midfield. We had Matteo Viviani who can play in the midfield. Marcos Bahia who can play in the midfield. Alright, and Diallo is a youngster. So we had this guy who's a winger, brilliant winger, who can play on the right flank as well. So okay, so we've got wingers. We've got 2 wingers now. We got third winger on the left flank, Sergio Gomez. We have an AMC that we can use. We got 2 strikers up top that we want to use. We got your defensive midfielders. Then we got Konate as a central defender. Diogo Cruz, another. Okay, this guy can be a fullback. He can be a defensive midfielder. We got Kyle Walker Peters. At this point, the dilemma started for me. I was like sitting there going, "What the hell am I gonna do with these boys?" Because these boys, I'm drooling, waiting to think of my permutations. The only problem with this team is the center of the park. Can I play with 2 midfielders? Now, if I look at your 2 midfielders, we got to look for defensive, like-minded midfielders, players who've got MC off the ball and positioning. Okay, so his positioning is only 13. Off the ball is paltry at 9. So he's never going to be looking to punch up, right? He's going to be holding the area. Tackling is only 13. So, right, 13. Okay, average. He can play in a 2-man midfield. Your Torben Grosven, Torben, whatever your name is, tackling is only 12, right? Pretty fast, could possibly play. Positioning is too low. Off the ball is average. Okay, so he's a 50-50 in midfield as well. When I say 50-50, I mean these kind of players, the ball can get past them, right? They're not going to rule midfield with them. They're not going to put their mark on midfield and say, "I own this space, you're in my house." No, these aren't players that can do that. Marcos Bahia, another player, doesn't own the midfield. 11 tackling, bravery 11. Okay, so, and then we got Ducore. Ducore is about the only player who's trying to own midfield. He's got good work rate. His positioning is okay, 30, not fantastic. His tackling is 13, is okay. But we go to Champions League, Eden Hazard, they're going to cut through past him. Mbappe is going to get past him. Paul Pogba is going to get past him. So midfielders are okay. So can I play a 4-2-3-1? Not really. I mean, but which permutation can I play? That was my dilemma when I started this. So I looked at your team and I went, okay, fine. How have you done? So over the course of the season, you started out with a 4-4-2. Now, whenever I look at tactics, or look at matches, I like to analyze my tactics. And this is one thing about my performances. They can sometimes be brilliant and sometimes they can be totally shite. In order for you to play the game well, you got to be able to look at your tactics objectively and say why it's not working instead of hanging on to something believing it should work. So this is my biggest problem. Okay, so I'm not suggesting it's your issue, but we'll get to that very soon. Why I think it's a problem and how we can address it. And I'll use me as an example of a person who should be a good example. Certain regards not to follow. So we got these players playing. Now I want you to watch how the space opens up. Alright, Ishak gets the ball. Then they get it to Hamrick. Now you notice your two midfielders, they're just tracking. They're not opposing. Now they drop so deep. There's nothing happening here. There's nobody closing this player down. He gets the ball out. Okay. The problem with this is your defensive line, your line engagement are too low. So in drawing a team in, you actually allow them to come all the way into your half and nobody stepped up. It could also be a case of poor positioning and it could also be a case of low bravery or low mentals. But that goal should never have happened, right? So, and then we look at Union Berlin and your chances. This is where I tell myself, is a tactic worth keeping? So this is Union Berlin. Right? These are all your shots that were off target. We removed them. These are all the shots that were safe. Now we want to see who were the players who got involved. 7. The Kraka, who's your striker, was always wide, right? So all his chances were from wider areas. Viviani plays it out to the Kraka. The Kraka, this is a counter attack from a set piece. Not an easy chance. So that's the first highlight. So this is how I should analyze my own game sometimes. But I don't. But I'm hoping that because this is a save for somebody else, I have to try to do something better. The Kore over the top, the Kraka gets away. Could have scored, but still a difficult chance, right? Because he's not narrowing. He's not like, coming from a slightly off-center position to score. So 20-20, and then we got one more here. Another shot that's safe. Redonkovic, you blow through. Redonkovic blows through. The Kraka shoots again. So that's 3 opportunities. And then we got this again. We got Dukore out to Redonkovic. Plays it to the Kraka. The Kraka lines up a shot. Takes a shot. It's from outside the box. It's not easy. But he couldn't test the keeper. So you're not generating anything inside the box. Let's look at Nuremberg. Okay, that's not too bad. But as we can see, they have one. This is when I try to create goals, right? I'm looking at this area. This is the area I want to be in. As far as my shots are concerned. This zone, right? This entire zone is where I want my players to try their shots from. Because they got the highest odds of scoring is from this area. They had 1, right? You had 1. And it landed to your midfielder. So what kind of chance did he have? This is rebuilding. You try to win the ball back. The Kore hits. This is the one that hits the woodwork, and then the keeper makes a save. So not good enough, I would say, right? So we didn't play very well with this. Okay, then you played FC Bayern Munich. Here you played the 4-4-2. And once again, I mean, you had 2 clear-cut chances versus their 4. So Bayern Munich, plenty of chances in and around the area. They got Mats Hummels, the defender. Renato Sanchez is not a defender. Mats Hummels is a defender, so this is a set piece. David Alaba is probably a set piece. Usama Dembele, 11, Kylian Mbappe. This is what I mean. All you need is 1 decent chance from this area. And it can be very painful because that's the area of the pitch you want to defend as well. So this is a corner. Kylian Mbappe from outside the box gets inside. unfortunately for you, this is a very unfortunate day as you conceded these. And now let's look at you. All right, once again, we've got Robert Andre, who's a winger, but this is off a corner. Okay, so I look at stuff like this to assess what I need to do. But from what I've seen so far from the movement of this match, because if you look at the key highlights, you'll see a lot of times them getting behind your midfielders. Then we played Real Madrid. You scored 1 goal. Union Berlin had like 15 shots, seven long shots, 7 attempts. So let's take a look at the teams and the shots, right? So we got all these shots from Union Berlin. Let's take out all the shots that are safe. We got 1 here, 5. David Batella, defender. 14, Tituan Thomas, midfielder. So this 1 shot that was saved. Okay, coming from your midfielder. This is how I analyze games, right? So it might take a while, but it's generally the best way to see what's up with your tactic. Okay. Transitional thing, not much time because the defenders are blocking the area. So not an easy chance to take. Alright, so we got these two. Now we take those 2 out. We take all this. Now these are all the shots off target. We got 2 here. We got 2 chances, one landing to a defender. We don't really see that because it's probably a corner. Then it goes Simo. So we have 2 chances and this is a header. Right? It's very easy to confirm this. We just have to look at the highlights. We look at the TV highlights and we just scroll back and you'll see it's a header. Yep, it's a header. So didn't work too well. And so if I were to look at just the Real Madrid Champions League match, and we just look at the pitch and then we look at the key highlights for this game. What I will notice is the gaps that will appear between them. They will be playing between the gaps, and it's easier to see it on 2D Classic. Right, so you got Icardi. Now you watch what happens when the gaps appear. You got players drifting into the gaps. Okay, you got these 2 players. They're able to hold the ball up. They get inside and they got this going for themselves. Right, Bale gets it to Carvajal, and then this entire space opens up. Right, so now you've got this whole space where they go far post. So it's this area that you're not really controlling very well. There are 2 ways to strategize the flanks, right? One way is you play wide, you shut them down, and you draw them into a congested area. Now what is happening is you've got these 2 guys who are relatively super deep, which is, there's nothing untoward about it, but you're so flat, your defensive line is so deep, you're giving them opportunities, right? And your line of engagement is literally in your own half. So I mean, literally in front of your penalty area. Rather, it's not. It's of course it's in your own half, but I think it's right on top of your goal. And this is something. This is the defenders. Then you're not employing prevent shot keeper distribution, which is, considering you didn't, which is actually kind of good, because if you had, you probably had lost by a lot more goals, because your players would have been out of position. Then Theo gets the ball. They drift it to Fernandes. Fernandes will get this. I'm looking for the spaces. They get one guy wide out. And this is a 1v1 situation for a cross. So it's still quite dangerous, right? So playing very narrow, it's easy for them to get the ball up. Now when you're breaking away, Thomas gets the ball, and then it's a hopeful ball to the Kraka. I mean, it's a good thing you managed to get one goal from this, but it was a hopeful counter. But we want to do more than this. We need 2 strikers in front. Okay, so what did I do and how did I do it? Now, the interesting thing is this for the first time, I could have chosen a route, right? I could have played this game and then gone back and then come up with a perfect tactic and say, this is how you should be playing. And, wouldn't have benefited anyone, right? Except my ego. But that doesn't count. What I did was what I normally do, right? So what you want to do is, I played the game to discover what your players can do, right? I chose 1 tactic per game and I played it. Now, normally it's really hard to do this in a game, but sometimes I need to do this if I feel that there's something that's just missing in your team. So we played with the 5-2-3, we played with a 4-4-2, and then we played with a 4-1-2-3. And I finally settled on a system because I believe that your team is actually capable of playing 1 tactic reasonably well, but it could be powerful against the top dogs. It gives you a chance to hit them hard with you're playing to your strengths now, and you're making yourself compact at the same time when you don't have the ball. So what did I do? It's not a perfect scene, but let's find out what happened in the next few matches. Okay, for our match against Hamburger SV, we actually. Oh, sorry. So what happened? I took over against Augsburg, right, in the Bundesliga, and I opted to play with a 5-2-3. Wasn't too bad, but this doesn't help the situation. But I think when you want to use a 5-2-3 like this, you gotta dominate possession. If you can dominate possession, then you don't have to worry about the gaps, right? Because you're in their face and you're holding, keeping the ball, which is what we did. And we managed to score a goal through Cosimo Marca de Graca, which, in my honest opinion, okay, if I was having this save and this was my team, I want Cosimo to be the top scorer. So de Graca, in a way, De Core plays it wide to De Silva, and De Silva to De Graca with we flooded the box and we scored the goal. However, that one goal, that win, I'm still not too impressed, right? Because if you look at my total shots, we only have 2 shots inside the box. One's both of them Cosimo. We managed to get, my target was to get most of my shots with Cosimo. This way, Cosimo is here, and we also had Boreal here, right? So Boreal scored. Boreal had a nice highlight. I think the rest also had they played decently. So this is the reason why I prefer the 2-striker combination. The Dakraka is a target man. The ball went wide to Boreal. That's one opportunity. Then we had another opportunity landing to the Kraka. Again, Viviani to the Silva. The Silva then, the Kraka with a header from far away. Okay, but we managed to defend against Augsburg pretty well. Enough? Nah, I still wasn't satisfied. So next game was against our next game was against Real Madrid. Against Real Madrid, I played a 4-1-2-3, and this is when I needed to be convinced about whether or not I can play with a more holding player. But we have De Cruz, Bahia, Viviani, Boreal, Radinkovic, the Kraka up front, Batala and Konate in defense. But if I look at the goal for this game, the problem with the 4-1-2-3 is unless you really dominate, you're not going to win a lot of matches. You might get blindsided, which happened to us. And we managed to escape with a 1-1 draw. When I looked at the match stats for this game, right, again, I was looking at this and going, okay, fine. Union Berlin, yeah, we had a very nice chance from Ibrahim Konate, but this is a header. And this was David Batala. So if I'm looking at all my shots, right, shots off target, that's it. Nothing else. This did not strike me as a good system. Because look at what Real Madrid did. We're not even going to bother. Yeah, Real Madrid played a really good game. We gave them too many chances. So I took the 4-1-2-3 and I binned it. The next game was against Hamburger SV. We played this is when I started thinking there is a room for a 4-4-2. We just need to tweak it somewhat. So I called it Hamburg 4-4-2 for some strange reason. So the Silva to Sergio Gomez to Da Costa. Notice when you're playing with 2 strikers, what happens? You get this position, you get this position, you get this position. So you get 3-on-3. So this is what I wanted to see. Marcos Alonso, Sergio Gomez. Immediately, you can leverage off the acceleration of this player. He beats the one player, sets up Boreal, and Boreal scores. Brilliant. It was exactly what I wanted to see. Our second goal came from I think we counter-attacked this, right, from the back. So we played this ball out, and ball was cleared. Andre picked this one, slid it to Boreal, Boreal to Gomez, Gomez cut back to De Kraka, our second goal. So I was very happy. Unfortunately for us, the reason why we conceded these goals is because partly down to stupidity, but also this issue that I was talking about, the gaps. Right? So this pulled Patricio out of position, opened this whole area up. Patricio had to rush back. He's almost out of position, but they do a good job. Unlucky ball from outside the box. At this point in time, I'm looking at our shots for this game. Right, so Hamburger SV really only had 2. Sorry, this is Union Berlin. We only had like 1, 2 falling, 3 to our striker, and 1. So our strikers had 4 shots inside the box. and in a very good area, right? So we had, and some of them were hitters, granted, but still, you get 4 in this area. So the goal here is to get them all in this area. So this tactic did outperform the 4-1-2-3, and it outperformed the Leon Demon, right? This is how I assess a system. So I was thinking to myself, at this point, actually the 4-4-2 is still the preferred go-to system for your team. But how do we play it? Well, I needed to be convinced one more time. So I played with a variation of the system because I wanted to create a system for you away from home. So we went there. We played a 4-2-3-1, but don't be fooled by this 4-3. It's got a double DM, which is going to be the hallmark. This is actually the Draco Dungeon Deep, right? But with a slight change. This guy is an inside forward. This guy is a winger on support. Both of these are on support, but this guy is a target man on attack, and this guy is a shadow striker. So we actually have 2 strikers in a manner of speaking, right? They're going to be focusing on going through the middle. What we are hoping for is the ball going this way or this way to the target man. And we had a pretty good result against Manchester United away from home, in spite of the fact that Manchester United enjoyed more possession. They had to score from a penalty. The Kraka again scored, and this is what I wanted to achieve with this any system I play. Most of the chances have to fall for our strikers, right? So I looked at the 4-2-3-1 deep, and I went to started thinking, okay, fine, this could be the way we set things up. Away from home, you could use the 4-2-3-1 in the Champions League if you can break away, but we only sacrifice one striker, right? We hold one player in a deeper position, so it forms a kind of we got these 2 guys attacking, but we got these 2 players to put pressure on their wing backs. So every time the wing back comes up, they're in trouble, and then we got these 2 players holding that space that we were vulnerable to, and thus was born the last system. This system became so we took the 4-2-3-1, we kept the roles, we moved the shadow striker into an advanced forward position, left everything else unchanged, and then we played against Freiburg, and we did some experiments. You'll see it in the show, in the hot seat. But here we scored 1 goal from a corner, which is like, yeah, okay, fine. We scored 1 goal from a corner, it's a big deal. But this is what I was after. Okay, we got this player breaking away, Boreal going, and then setting up Sergio Gomez. Sergio Gomez goes back for the ball. Cruz. This is when we went from a 4-4-2 DM to a 4-2-2 DM, meaning my 2 wingers became attacking mids. So I moved these 2 guys up, and we scored the first goal. In the 84th minute, I noticed something in the game. Now, the reason why I played with the 4-2-2-2 DM is because you're going to be facing sides that play prevent short goalkeeper distribution. This is prevent short goalkeeper distribution committed by the other team. So we are trying to build play out from our goalkeeper. Notice how their team has set themselves up to prevent short goalkeeper distribution. There's nobody here. But this is how we are setting ourselves up. So our keeper actually played the ball to this player before we launched a sequence of attacks. Now, this is dangerous for the opposition, but this is what I wanted to see. Pass into space, waiting to hit the offside trap, getting side and got a shot away. This is how we want to attack teams. We want to be solid defensively, but we want to have options. And this is what we did. It took me a while to figure out. In fact, you guys were on Discord when I was pacing up and down the house before the match. And I was trying to figure out a way to play this. So we got this 89th minute, the Graka, Patella, Redonkovic, Patala plays it back. Look at the spacing. This is when I have my wing backs playing with the overlap, and I'm using a winger and an inside forward with the 2 target men. So the wing backs now act. So we got our 2 defenders. All we got to do is get the ball out. So we got NCD. Viviani plays the ball back. Sweeper keeper plays the ball here. And if they pressure us or push up, we are able to get the ball over the top. So we have a sweeper keeper to kick the ball. We have a ball playing defender, and we also have a no-nonsense central defender. So that's how we played, and now it's time for me to check the tactic. This is Freiburg and his chances. Now granted, they were also like a bit central, but so are ours. We had a lot of chances, and most of them fell to our strikers. In fact, the majority of chances inside the box, right, in a dangerous position, all fell to our strikers. The final result of this game was 3-2. Now, the mistake I made in this game was sometimes I decided to sit back because I just wanted to see what would happen if I fell back into this position. When I fell back into this position, the AI would attack me and I would give up some goals. But when I pushed up, the AI couldn't attack me. This is the way I like to deal with prevent short goalkeeper distribution, even if I were to play against a human player. So what happened? So this is the setup that we had for the first tactic. We use a target man on attack. We use a shadow striker. We're using a winger on a support, close down more, mark tighter. We're using inside forward, sit narrow, close down more, mark tight. Sitting narrow is going to put him somewhere here. Wing back is also sitting narrower, so we're keeping the ball quite aggressively on this side, not too far away from the volante. Then a DM on support, wing back on support with mark tighter, NCB, ball playing defender, and a sweeper keeper on defense. So this is a slight variation on Dungeon Deep with these shouts. But this is where things got interesting. It's the same tactic, the same baseline. We're using the same with no changes to these players. All we do is wing on support, target man, advance forward. So we change this around like this. And then when I want to be a nuisance, you go wing on support. You can make this into inside forward, but I'd rather play him as a winger. Winger, attacking for advance forward, target man attack, volante, DM on support. So he's got closer more mark tight. It will shift with him. Okay, so this is how we set up. And when I play like this, it's going to be overlap. Right, so we can have overlap instructions as well. Overlap is going to this is a more aggressive way of playing. But in a lot of cases, especially against the teams that play 4-2-3-1 or they like to play the high press, it's going to be very dangerous because for the opposition, the moment they play the high press, we got a goal scoring opportunity. But what I will do when they play the high press, I will play prevent short goalkeeper distribution, because when I play for prevent short goalkeeper distribution, all four players are going to be in perfect positions to do this without compromising our tactic so much. Like you saw the other tactic, it compromised. The tactic was compromised, right? But this one may not be as compromised as the other tactic because we're not using an EM. So we get all these four closing players now. So this is what I recommend. And I want to recommend using a combination of a ball playing dependent and a no nonsense center back. Why? Because this guy's just going to hold the ball forward. It gives you another outlet, and this guy is going to try something. But you can also play with two no-nonsense central defenders with a sweeper keeper, because you honestly, if you hoof the ball up and these guys win the ball, the volante is not going to be far away to clean up the second ball. That's the option that you have. Higher line of engagement with a higher defensive line, use tighter marking, use offside trap. We want to play with high defensive width because we want to draw them to these two players, right? These players are going to have to chop down the opposition as early as possible. Now, as far as the players are concerned, I went with Bahia, Viviani, or Ducore and Bahia. They can work. Then on the left flank, Sergio Gomez, Radenkovic. You also got the lone players that you have, Rederman. Then you got Boreal and De Kraka. At the back is either Cruz or you've got another fullback there, the Coutinho, Batala, or Patricio is also an option. And then you got Iribarren and Kyle Walker-Peters. So this team is going to be interesting because if you're gonna get, I don't know how much you enjoy this, right? But I don't like to play with single striker formations so much. I much prefer two striker systems. But I'm looking at this tactic and going, holy cow, I'm coming up with a 4-2-4 now, because this is the closest we're going to get to a 4-2-4, because we can't push this guy any higher. As I've removed the exploit, we used to be able to play players here, but it became an exploit. And they've since removed that option because somebody went and exploited the system. And okay, so I hope that you are able to try this out. I think it's going to be interesting. It's an option. You can play with this without the overlaps. Because if you play with an overlap in this particular situation, you might get them too close. The other option you have is actually wing back on attack. These guys go naturally overlapping, and they just go past the winger. So once the wing back goes on attack, the winger was going to make a line for the for inside. But that is also a option that you have. You have the players for it. The only problem was the two central midfielders. They were allowing too many balls to get between them and the defenders. So we had to solve that, and I reckon this might work. Well, I hope you enjoyed this additional game changer. If you found it useful, please hit the like and subscribe button, and follow me on the channel. And turn on the notifications. I might be releasing more of these videos very very soon. Once again, I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel in one way or another. You make these kind of shows possible for the rest of the community. You guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.